Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Cheer Up the podcast. This is a super exciting episode, but before I get into it, make sure that you're listening to us on Spotify and rss.com and also seeing our pretty faces on YouTube because we're psyched for sore eyes. And also you can find us on social media at Cheer Up. But make sure that you're interacting with us as well. You can leave your topics on our website.
On our website you can, and you can leave them anonymously. Because I can never say the word.
Anonymously.
Yes, you can leave them like that.
Do you know what I can't say? Expedition. When I'm reading out teams.
Loads of words.
Exhibition.
Listen, I have to read the. I have to read the teams out.
What's this say? Thyroids.
But what? Why do people have like such names?
You'd be wondering why Jane's looking over there because we have the one and only special guest. It's the owner of Ice, Kim. Hello, Kim. Welcome to Cheer Up the podcast. Thank you for coming on. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to get straight into it, really.
Yeah.
We're going to chuck you in the deep end.
Perfect. That's what I like.
Do you want to set off?
Yeah, so I'm going to get my glasses on now for this. So this episode, we've got going to do part 1, part 2. But the first one what we're going to do, we're talking about is competition and grassroots, because this is kind of how me and you met originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Way back in the day. And then you set up ice competitions.
Yes.
So what I'm going to ask you, Kim, is what made you set up ice and why did you do it?
Okay, so when I competed myself in dance, I know that's your favourite thing, Theo.
I have no idea what's going on in dance. No idea.
I was really lucky because my parents thought it was important for me to do that, and they would probably not eat for a week or they'd borrow money off grandparents, and it was really important for them because I love dancing so much for me to do it. So I felt I was really lucky to have the opportunity and go and do it. And then when I started teaching myself, I thought, oh, this is different. These aren't like my parents. These parents maybe have different agendas, or they can't afford it and they can't even afford to rob granny, or, you know, I just thought there needed to be an opportunity out there for people on maybe lower income, what do you say, cost of living crisis?
To try and
to try and provide opportunities for those people, affordable and accessible. So our idea, originally we started in the West Midlands, because I know you won't tell by my accent, but that's where I'm from. We started in the West Midlands, just giving opportunities to local teams. And Jane, you've always been involved from the very start. Yeah. And then we thought, well, actually, this is for the West Midlands, but what about all of the different teams all around not being able to have the opportunity to enter something that was really affordable? I mean, our first competitions were £5 and you can enter as much as you wanted to. So it's literally £5 entry, just dance as much as or cheerlead as much as you wanted to. But obviously, when it got bigger and costs got bigger, we had to go up a little bit. So we started with our very first event in Clacton-on-Sea. If you remember it, we had Jane and Vanessa, and then not many people at all. And then we kind of went round then. And funnily enough, that coincided with the year that I found out I was pregnant as well. I found out a week after that event. So that was an interesting year.
I remember at the event, you was like, Jane, I just feel different.
Breasts are so sore. What's going on?
I was like, maybe.
Yeah, I was so confused. But anyway, I've learned a lot since then. So that's basically why we started ICE. So it was just for low-level teams, for people who may not be able to afford costumes, and not just for the cheerleaders and the parents, but also for the coaches as well, just to come into an environment where it wasn't so overwhelming like big arenas or anything like that, just to give them a step up onto the competition kind of ladder to get them involved, and then just so that they could learn along the way, and then hopefully then they would go like to the bigger event providers such as ICC and Legacy and all of that, so they could, you know, the aim wasn't just to keep them with me, it was so that they could, you know, grow their wings and fly. And then
give them that step. It's nice because when I take the little ones, I've been burnt by it before, taking them straight to a big arena, and they're literally so overwhelmed. The first thing they do when they get on the floor is just like, and you just know it's not going to be a car crash. I think that's a brilliant way to take them to a smaller but still busy event. Yeah. Obviously, events we did yours for the first time, Don't Shoot Me last year. Yeah. It was packed. Yeah. It was still a good show. It was still a good the production was there, and I think it gives them a perfect kind of foot that they need to go into the bigger aspects.
You've always been passionate with grassroots, the same as me, sort of like that, like the underdog. That's why I think
love
we
the
connected.
underdog. Love the
That's
underdog.
why we connected right away, wasn't it? Like we've been friends like over 20 years now in the.
Well, we met at the Blackpool Winter Gardens up on that balcony, and we had street games teams, which was the national charity. So, and we were sitting next to each other. And what I loved most about it, which is obviously what inspired me to keep going, is that we were really friendly. I didn't know you from Adam at the time, and obviously we've become quite friendly over the years, good friends. And then we were just supporting each other, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing in the cheerleading world, but you had done a little bit before, but we were supporting each other. And actually, in the dancing that I did growing up, there was none of that. It was like, oh, she's here from that dance school, like you better dance a bit harder. But I thought at that time, it was around 20 years ago, cheerleading just wasn't like that. It was all support, really, really supportive. And I thought I'd love to grow something like this to teach young people and the parents sometimes, just like a well-rounded kind of picture of what it would be to get them ready, even if they don't go on to cheerlead or dance, even if it was to go into the workplace. So to teach them commitment to something rather than I'll try that and then give up because it didn't suit me. I feel like cheerleading and dance,
it's a really good platform for life skills, isn't it?
Confidence, work ethic, all of that. Having a really good time with your friends and getting to experience things that you wouldn't if you didn't do the sport. So, I mean, that was the idea. And as it's grown, which I'm eternally grateful for, and I do feel very lucky, although a lot of blood, sweat and tears has gone into it, actually for about 4 years of it whilst breastfeeding a child, which was always very interesting. It's kind of sometimes spirals a little bit too much, whereas now, so I think you did Doncaster last year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did,
It was a very, very busy event. And because we always try to accommodate everybody, people will say to us like, well, we need spectator tickets, but there aren't any. Well, we need them. And so, sometimes you're like, this is growing a little bit out of control.
I think I'm one of them coaches. I'm like, I need spectator tickets. I think I said at that event at Doncaster, was like, you can all bring one parent each. That's it.
I remember we mentioned this in the episode before when I was mentioning about like Vanessa forgetting the spectator tickets and having to bring them back. But this is when you're a club owner and you put out spectator tickets on sale and they go, we understand it's not everybody's priority, but these events,
it is the priority when they haven't got a ticket,
from an event producer. When they sell out, Dave.
I know. And then we might magic like a 10. We've got 10 extras, and they're like, well, why is it so full? You wanted the tickets, like we're at capacity. It's so difficult to keep everything the way that ICE was designed, because I think the industry over the last over the last 5 years, and I think since COVID has just, it's like fast forward, it's like on speed. People want more. Everybody wants a sprung floor, which I agree with if that's what you're practicing on. But obviously that costs as an event provider more money. Which
takes away what your original ethos was, which this is a cheap event, affordable, come and have a great time, come and do your best.
Yeah, but I think that goes down. So it's not just an event provider's problem. I know you've spoken about it on your episodes before. It's parents, right, well, we want to go to America, but hang on, you've never even stepped into a cheerleading gym. But we've seen our friend and they've been to America. Wonderful. So back in the day, that would have taken years to have trained somebody, whereas now we want it now. And maybe it's not just a cheerleading or dance thing. Maybe that's just the whole world, like Uber Eats now. Everything is quick and it's on our doorstep, isn't it? So it is an issue.
It's like there's no time for development anymore.
No.
It's like there's no process to be able to get better at something. You've got to no, I'm going to go straight for that level 5 team. And I am going to go to Worlds. I'm sorry, you can't afford roll, love.
Yeah, but then we don't appreciate the journey, do we? We don't appreciate the journey of learning the very basics and going to something basic and then moving up slowly every single year, slowly but surely. I mean, I have teams call me personally, which is absolutely fine, saying, the parents kicking off, we need a world's bid. And I'm like, I can't help you. it's really difficult to say. I mean, I would love just to go, I'm just going to give the team with the best costumes the world bid, because I think like that's just me all over.
Yeah.
Oh, you look pretty, have a bid.
And that, honestly, that is so true.
We're doing ice next year, guys.
Exactly.
So true.
I know my judging team like just move away, and I'm like, oh, I won't ever interfere, but I just want to tell you how cute they looked. Okay, we don't get extra points for that, Kim, go away. I'm like, okay.
That's why I stepped down from judging, because I just found it too
Oh,
hard.
they're nice. Oh, they're awful. Yeah, they can win. They've got to win. No, but they weren't good enough, Kim. But look at them. They're so cute. But for me, I wanted to create a space for that. You know, just for people to come along and just have a really good time, and not to really take themselves too seriously, and to enjoy cheering each other on.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of rivalry now, which we didn't experience, 20 years ago. It was all about making friends, wasn't it? Whereas now it's like... Yeah, exactly. I think
we're going to come on to
that.
that.
Say an amen to that.
Yeah, we're going to come to that. We actually have this in Controversial Corner in part 2.
Wonderful,
We're going to do this
wonderful.
episode 7 and 8 in parts. But to go into Controversial Corner in this part of the episode... We're gonna
Are we
go
doing
into,
that now?
Yeah, we're doing that now. Brace yourself. It's obviously you're growing. You've got a lot of events up and down the UK now. How do you feel about judges?
Love them.
Yeah,
couldn't do eyes without them. Okay, so I don't know how well known this is, but there is a national shortage of judges. So I like to think that with my ethos, not only with the people that we provide a service for, but also internally, I always like to think that I'm quite fair with the people that I employ, and I'd like to give people opportunities, as many opportunities as possible. So I would never say, oh, if you're judging for me or if you're heading up something, you can't work for anybody else, because that's just not how life works. And quite frankly, if somebody told me that, I'd be like, well, I am now, so, So there is a shortage of judges, and there are two sides to this. It's a good thing that the same judges are seeing the same routines every single time, but it's also a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's kind of consistent, isn't it? At least you're getting the same judges.
The improvement and different things.
Yeah. Although I think, have you ever watched something and you think this is going to be really good? Like Traitors, right? So everyone said to me, Traitors is going to be so good. And I was like, oh, brilliant. So already in my head, it's got 10 points.
Yeah.
So a team could come onto the floor and they all season, they could have been amazing. And then they would just, maybe they plateaued or whatever. They weren't as good. But the judges have got it in their head. They're amazing. Now, I don't care how good you are, but you're human, aren't you? You're still human. You've got that. Well, they've got 10 points already.
It's like a preconception.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, they've got preconceived ideas. So is it fair then for the other team that's come in and has worked super hard? And do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that happens. I'm saying it could happen.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that if it's consistent all the way through, you're not getting a variation of, it is, I know we've got technical elements, but there is some of it that is a matter of opinion, isn't it? And taste and things like that. So is that fair then? I have had teams come to me and say, your judges don't like me. And I'm like, they don't. It's not you as a person and it's not your team. It's just what they've seen on the floor.
And on that particular day as well.
Yeah.
And I've judged as well. And that's why I stepped down from judging, because it wasn't my... I knew when I got into judging, I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't have the concentration capacity for that.
Yeah.
I'd be like halfway through the routine and I'd be like, have I seen a pyramid?
Yeah.
And that was before you had, I judged before you had
the playback.
Before you had playback, and when you didn't
might
have
try
a stunt,
again now.
you didn't have a stunt and a dance. You did it all, and you was like, you looked at the other judge. I'm like, did you see a pyramid? Because to be fair, when we first judged with us, we might not have seen a pyramid.
Highly likely that we didn't see hardly anything that was on the score sheet, but that was okay. Sure. Yeah. So it's a problem, isn't it? Yeah. And I think that
it's funny because we have, in coaches and parents in my team, they'll be like, oh, we'll do this comp because we did well there. But we're not doing this comp because we don't do well there. But I'm like, but we need the, especially if we're going international, we need the experience. We need the feedback from different EPs to know what we need to work on. It's all right if we came second at this comp, but we've done fifth at this. It's not. That's not the case for me as a head coach. I used to make sure that
You go round.
We're going round, and we're getting that. Also, that sense of competition. Different EPs have different levels of like competition against.
And I think the difference between cheer and dance as well, when you're judging the two, like with the cheer, it's so set in stone because it's like, this is what you need for high range, mid range, low range. These are the skills you need. Bop, bop, bish, bish, bash, bosh. Put your routine together, and then your bits of creativity, your speed, your pace, and everything else layers on top.
Yeah.
Dance is very aesthetic, and it's very personable as well. So I think what one judge might have just gone, oh my god, I like literally, I love that routine,
right, my
that
street.
touched me.
Yeah.
It could be a piece of music, for instance, that resonates.
Oh, I love it when those hands go to music.
You know, when there's a piece of music though, and it's like,
honestly, I'm like this on my
somebody.
Shazam this song.
I know. I love that.
Honestly, from Summer Jam, I was like, Jane, what's this song? I had to, what team was it? Running around Theatre Crazy Cats.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that song? That song's, it's on my playlist now.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the cat.
Loved it, yeah.
Reliving it. I love it.
I think it just makes it elevates it when the song, I was just like, it's memorable. And for a judge,
but
obviously.
that's for you. That's like you're saying, for you, I might have listened to that song and gone, this reminds me.
I want to hear the song now to see whether I'm not listening.
I've got
this reminds me of a heartbreak.
Exactly. Everybody's
this song reminds me,
yeah.
especially when it gets to contemporary lyrical and you think this song just reminds me.
Oh, I know.
It conjures bad memories.
It's been like that, yeah. We've had people working for us that like, just can't hear this song, like crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we can't do anything about it. It's a song of the day.
Yeah.
Like they're all gonna have it on. We don't know what to do. Just gonna have a sob in the corner. Be alright. Get back here. But yeah, so let's go back to judges.
Yeah.
I love all of the judges that come through our doors. I can't thank them enough. I'm always really grateful because what people forget is they have to do loads of CPD. Let's say COPD then. No lung problems, please. But loads of continual professional development. They need to be on top of the game.
Yeah.
So they need to know everything before the coaches need to know it because obviously they're going to market. They're up against just people who, baiting for blood, like, when can we see your head judge? And you think, oh, just let her have a break. She hasn't had, she's been on from 6:30. She's done 8 hours already, and we've thrown her a cup of tea. Or like I did at the last event, threw a chocolate and hazelnut biscuit at the judge who was allergic to nuts. Not good.
Oh gosh,
I didn't know. I didn't realise.
It's not that as well, though.
It was from Harvey Nichols. I was trying to be kind.
Bougie. Have you got any judges' places? Yeah.
Someone had brought me them. I thought I'd take those. They can't be super kind.
I
and
think
then I was
the
like,
rules
nearly
as
killed
well
it.
in cheer and dance change so regularly. They've got to be on top form, like you're saying.
They have, because then coaches who may not be on top of the game when it comes to rules and stuff, because like you say, you pop down. I mean, the amount of times we get coaches who say, oh, can you just change division because we don't know. It's probably off the bottom of your laptop, love. Just keep going down, you'll find your division. There's that. We're offering so much stuff now, which again really isn't what we set out to do. We didn't want to confuse people.
This is what we said before, like when you said like pop, the scroll down is like click on division what you're entering and it's like
I know, but then there's two things about that, because that really wasn't what ICE was set up to do. But if we're going to lead them into bigger events, they kind of need to be doing that score sheet, all that kind of thing. So it's difficult. So I think that judges get a real hard time. They should all be a little bit more bring it on. Do you remember when they're like, right, get out the way? Or, all that kind of like, take no nonsense. But then...
Spirit finger.
Exactly, exactly. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's such a personable sport. It's not like we can go, in football, well, it was 2-0. It's not like that. That's not how it's been. So it is really difficult. We need more judges if anybody wants to train to be a judge. And I think that's across the board with all EPs.
Yes.
They work long hours. They work across the season. Events sometimes weekend after weekend, which... Do I agree with that? Not really, because they're knackered, and then we're saying, right, come on, put your best foot out and forward and things like that. I know that when I danced as a young girl many, many years ago, judges were well respected. We'd bow down to them, we'd smile at them nicely, and now it's not really like that. It's almost like we'll tell that judge.
That's not a building bubble.
And safety judges, I mean... I'm not surprised there's a shortage. Who wants that?
Who wants that job? Yeah. So I think that we need more.
Yeah.
We probably need more education over here in the UK, because we do send ours over, which is a nice little jolly, and I'm hoping to go with them next year.
Yeah.
Just for support.
Welcome just for support.
Yeah, should we all go and support them?
Where's Kim, Jane and Theo?
Yeah.
They're at the bar.
Yeah, they're on happy hour while you're all learning what we're supposed to be doing. So it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as well, just really quickly, which was probably quite controversial in its day, you have level 0.
That was our very first thing, courtesy of Adele McCarthy-Watson. She deserves
was.
a shout out for that.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, we had level 0 because, again, that was what we were all about. But then you've got flipping like prep this and obviously that, everything. You know, and then it just blurs the lines, doesn't it? But,
but the level 0 was like great because it was like your real grassroots. We're going in at level 0.
Top knot Tony.
Top knot Tony.
On that note, we're going to end on there because we're going to have another part with Kim. She's staying with us. So if you liked episode 7, you can watch us on YouTube. You can also find us Instagram. I don't know why I'm saying all this, because just hop onto the next episode. Bye.
Bye.